Hello, welcome to episode 87 of the Zeens and Roger Crochet Vlogcast. Hello, how are you? Are you alright? I am in a terrible mood and I'm hoping that you can cheer me up. I've got less than an hour before I've got to go and get my car from the garage. I took it down 2 days ago because its brakes are shot. And I'm having to spend several £100 getting it fixed when all I really need is a new car because I keep needing to fix it. I do hope you have been crocheting and crafting to your heart's content. I am wearing a finished object that I forgot to show on the last episode, so I'm going to show it today. It's a prototype for a design that I've been learning to grade recently. I'll talk about that. I've finished my green jumper, I'll talk about that. And I've got a diddy little finished object to show you and a work in progress. And I think that would probably be enough because I don't want to keep you too long. Let's get started. I have showed this cardigan as a whip in the past. And I've had it finished for ages and it has been worn to death and washed, and I'm here to, I guess, give my feedback on how much I like it, which is a lot. And that's because well, I like it well enough that it's going to become an official release as a design, like an easy stripy cardigan that should be suitable for everybody. I've spent most of the day trying to get all the grading sorted, and this neckline is causing me bother. I'm not sure about the ratio of the depth to the main bit of it where it buttons up, where it meets in the middle and all that jazz, but I won't bore you with that, only to say that I need to get that sorted. I know all the dimensions of the size, the sample size that I'd make, basically, you know, a cardigan for me. However, I used Paintbox Wool Mix Aran, but when I went to get the yarn to make another one, and I have requested yarn support for this, they didn't have all the shades I wanted in the wool mix, and so I've gone for 100% wool in a worsted weight. I'm not very clever because I haven't brought up the ball bands for what the length of, you know, the meterage, the yardage for the wool mix from Paintbox, but I did bring up this, which is Paintbox 100% worsted. It's a super wash, and this one is 218 yards or 200 meters per 100 grams, which is the same as the green jumper that I'm going to show you, which was sold as a DK, even though it's not really a DK, probably is a worsted. So I thought the cat was coming in, but she's not here. So there will be some slight changes to the cardigan in that I've had to tweak all the measurements and all the stitch counts because my swatch is different to this because it's slightly finer. If this is Aran and that's worsted, we're talking just a marginal difference in stitch count, which is a bit of a pain, I suppose, but I mean, if you've got to grade something, you've got to grade something. And you should do it properly. I guess, I don't know, I'm so used to having this now that I don't know what to say about it. I've been wearing it so much. Do you have any questions about it? I mean, I suspect that I can share, you know, the other one is a work in progress at some point in the future, but I would like it finished by the end of, like, I want to make a whole cardigan by the end of March, and it's like the 24th today. I don't know what the date is. It's a Tuesday. Next Monday is the 29th, 28th, 27th, 26th, 24th, 23rd. I don't know the date. I can do that, no problem, if I start tonight. I'll just do a bit over the evenings, and then Monday and Tuesday next week really just crochet my heart out. But I do have a few different colours, including a lovely shade of brown, which is always my fave, pink, and some other colours too, but I think I'll leave it there. I think what's happened is I was inspired by the J.W. Anderson cardigan last year, so I made that in as a really oversized, quite chunky weight, but well, actually I think most of it was Aran actually, but I used a really loose gauge. It was really oversized and boxy, and then I made a second version, but I made a smaller size because it was my sister who's smaller than me. But when I tried it on, I really liked the fit of that smaller size, and so I used that as a basis to make this one. And the Harry Styles being, actually I've got it here, underneath a mountain of jumpers. I mean this one, which I made some time ago now, last year. And it's proved really popular. I get loads of questions about this, so many questions, mostly YouTube comments that I basically just say each time, if you read the blog post as suggested, the information is there. But that's, I think, I've noticed a correlation between, like, the free patterns. I don't always offer as much details because it's a free pattern, you know, you don't want to offer the earth, because you're giving something away for free. But then conversely, that means I get far more queries about my free patterns with the asking for sort of detailed explanations than I do with any of my paid for patterns. Oh, I've just had a thought. Well, I wonder if that would ever put people off, like if they saw my free patterns and went, oh well, why would I bother buying any of her patterns if this is all I get? I hope I haven't shot myself in the foot. I don't know. So I'm a bit, this annoys me here. I've added the button on slightly wrong, but have been too lazy to take it off and redo it. This is a really comfortable, easy to wear cardigan. I'll talk about the next incarnation when I get there. But I do like the evolution, the evolutionary process that's occurred over the last few months with the garments and the cardigan design, and how it's kind of been changed with each make. There must be something in that. Oh, I got myself a Granny Square mug as a treat. I can't remember who it's by, but I was influenced by Instagram. The sponsored post came up on my feed with a picture of the mugs and was just like, you want one of these, don't you? Yes, I do. I'll leave who it's by in the show notes, because I think flags. Can't remember. I'll leave a link for you. Goodness me, this is coming up green. I've still got an end that I haven't woven in there. Whoops. It is actually a very rich, verdant shade of green. Bordering on a yellowy green, I suppose, but an intensely greeny green that is unmistakably green. No pattern for this, it's a mishmash of several. I would say I've used 2, 3 as influences, 4 even, without actually following any of them. A couple of patterns I would have just stumbled across on Ravelry, one of which I bought thinking I may as well just follow it line for line, until I discovered that the yarn I wanted to use was in fact completely inappropriate for the pattern and had to do all the maths to work out different stitch counts and la la la, and that's when I sort of went, you know what, I'll just do my own thing. So the sleeves do actually, the sleeves are fine. They are even Steven. I think I kind of matched quite well, considering that I had forgotten on sleeve 1 exactly the stitch counts and the decreases I was doing. They have come out pretty nice. I like the cuffs, which I pilfered from another pattern. So I made their cuffs separately and stitched them on after I'd finished. It's just a standard lemon peel stitch and a half treble cowl or turtleneck, if you will, which is really nice. Went down a hook size for the cowl, the cuffs and the waistband. The waistband is the only bit where I'm a little bit, is it too tight? I used the same technique as I used in the Colourpop sweater, but whereas I can't remember now, that sort of seemed a bit more kind of boxy and therefore didn't have much of an impact on the waist, whereas this, I guess maybe, I'm not sure, but it is just a bit too tight maybe. And it's cropped as well. Raglan sleeves. Don't really know how to show it off, I have to say. I haven't taken any photographs of it, and I'm not going to anytime soon either. And the other thing as well is that it's not blocked yet. And I will be blocking it because although it is sort of arguably a nice fit, I would like it to be just slightly looser. Just to, sorry, I'm gonna have to squat. It's all a bit sort of ruckusy around here. So maybe if I were to block it, it would have a better drape. I'm not sure, but I'm going to do it anyway. It is my intention to block it, although I have worn it out as is. But I'm going to take it off because I'm boiling. I really like it though, I'm really pleased. I will leave links to the patterns I've used so you can go and check them out if you are so inclined. I'm sure one of them actually I found after I'd finished and went, oh, that almost looks identical. So I'll share that one, even though like literally I didn't use it at all. But just as a like for like, you might find that interesting. I think I want, one of the reasons why I want to block it as well is, for me, it's just a little bit too short. I'm not into mega cropped stuff. I like the cropped look, I really do, but I like to just have an extra inch or two on the standard kind of crop length. It just makes me feel more comfortable. The idea of flashing off my midriff at nearly 42, I'm not sure I can bring myself to do that. Let me tell you about a workbook that I have been following for a while. I should have done it by now, but I'm very, very slow. But I thought I would let you know about the workbook that Heather is putting together. That's HG Crochet Designs. She has painstakingly gone through the entire process of how you generate an idea, you get that kind of source of inspiration, and it's followed right through to how you decide on what your design will be, to how you grade it, to pattern writing, and it's very, very in-depth, which is why, well, it's not why it's taking me so long. I could probably do it a lot quicker, but what with everything else that's going on at the moment, all these balls that need to be juggled, I can only do sort of a couple of hours a week and then have to put it down and then move on to the next job and get distracted by something else. And so realistically, I've only sort of been doing a couple of hours a week for the last few weeks, and I started late, and that means that even though I'm not totally finished yet, although I have taken out a massive chunk of it, the pre-orders for Heather's workbook are now open. I will leave a link in the show notes, and that is an affiliate link. So if you decided to purchase a copy of the workbook so you could do your own grading, then I would get a small percentage of the sale. There's two levels of cost, one with and one without extra additional help from Heather. So basically, if you wanted to have your hand held through the process, then Heather would be there to help you for a set number of sales and a set number of time. I thought somebody was there. I think there might be a ghost in here today. So I think that's really good. It's so helpful, it really is, and it's so thorough. I thought I'd finished my tea then, I've still got a little bit left. I would thoroughly recommend that you go and check it out. As you know, I feel completely wrong recommending things that I don't approve of. I approve of this. I think it's marvellous. I mean, it's helped me no end. I think because I literally had no clue where to start and no time to basically scour the internet, finding all those different individual sources on how you grade and putting all that information together. If you're like me, who's just like far too kind of like overwhelmed by it all, then it's all in one place, and it's kind of a relief knowing that you don't have to sort of go, where is it? Where is the information? When instead you can just look at this one document and it's all there together. So if you're a beginner designer, you don't know about grading, and even if you're not a beginner designer, I'm not a beginner designer, but I didn't know anything about grading. I've learnt loads, and I've learnt sort of, although I do know, you know, I use spreadsheets on a reasonably regular basis. I don't want my teeth gone cold. There's still certain formula that I just go, what? I don't know. And so if it's written there, and I can just sort of go, I shall follow this, bingo. So follow the link if you're interested. It will take you to Heather's website, but the particular link means it's affiliated to me, and it will tell the magical computery beings that where it's come from. But yeah, you just need to disclose that it's an affiliate link rather than not. And there's no extra cost. It's all built into, like, it's the same if you were to buy it direct from Heather or buy it through me. But she basically wants to help other crochet designers and make it a huge community thing by helping everybody else. So if somebody else were to buy it, then they could become an affiliate too, and they could recommend it and get sales. So it's kind of like a domino effect of bigging up designers and helping everybody try and make a bit of a living out of what they love. So she's thought of it all, really. It's magnificent. I don't think I need to say anything else. I don't want to bamboozle anybody with information. I think basically, I wrote some notes, and those notes were, if you're interested, very thorough. Very beginner friendly. Well, I've already said that anyway. It's like literally step by step. So, I mean, if you are confident at computers, you could probably whiz through some of the pages. You know, it's not going to take you forever to do. So basically, don't be intimidated by the breadth of it. It's there to help you, not frighten you away. and I'm easily frightened, and I've done alright so far. I'm still doing it, so. And it's broken down into chapters, so maybe you know you're already perfectly happy with your inspiration and sort of working out the initial ideas and stuff like that, just want to jump straight into grading, where you can just skip, you know, one of the first couple of the first two sections and go straight to the grading if you wanted to. Okay, so moving on to the next thing, the next topic of the next topic of conversation. I joined Ribblr, which is a pattern platform, online sales platform. You may or may not have heard of it. Ribblr, Ribblr. And if you think of Ravelry, it's similar to Ravelry, so if you do have problems using Ravelry, then maybe you want to check this out and consider it as an alternative. For designers who actually, probably I would suggest that maybe those just starting out might find it more useful than sort of people that have been doing it for a while, purely because you can use all the Ribblr resources. So for example, whereas I create a PDF initially with my layout and how I like it, you could, if you wanted to, enter everything into Ribblr, and then it kind of sort of consolidates it all into one for you, in terms of you can build charts on there. I don't know about symbol charts, but definitely like pixelated charts are built into the system. I'm still learning it, by the way, so I've got a lot of stuff to find out, and I've asked them lots of questions, and I haven't had time to read the email that they've sent back to me with loads of detail, but it's early days for me. I'm testing the waters. They contacted me and offered me, they offered to put up 5 of my patterns and do it all for me, so I was just like, yeah, sure, go for it. Just so I can see what's what, but literally it's only been 2 weeks, so I don't know yet. But as I was sort of going through it, there's an extensive like frequently asked questions page, and I was learning a lot just sifting through that. But the reason I think it would be good for beginners is because they haven't yet become accustomed to a preferred alternative layout. So I like my document to be a certain way, you know. I've just rebranded them all so they all look a certain way, and then I'll use different software to create a symbol chart, create a pixel chart, and bring it all together. I don't yet know how that works. Like, if I were to build it in Ribblr, would I be able to transport it out into my own PDFs? Haven't worked it out yet. But the ones I sent to them, they have sort of swapped it over so that it's all, the charts and stuff are all integrated into their systems, which is pretty swish. It's still new, it's still growing, but you can sign up for free as a user. There are free patterns on there. I haven't done any free ones yet because I don't know how that works. In terms of, like, I put free patterns on my blog so that if people come to my blog, that's traffic and should generate half a p in income or whatever. But I don't know how it works if you do that with Ribblr. So I will tell you more as I learn, and maybe you know stuff and you can feed it back to others in the community and we can all learn together. Because, yeah, I've got a feeling it's pretty extensive and there's loads of different options. But watch this space and any other Ribblr spaces that you may know of. But I thought I'd mention it because it might be a viable alternative to those that can't use Ravelry, and it might well be right up your street as a designer. I don't know. And thank you everybody to everybody that commented last episode. It seems like a lot of you are up for a newsletter. Well, can you just leave it with me for about 3 months? I've got a massive list of things to do, and I just want to get those big jobs out the way before I tackle something new. Like I've just finished my rebrand of all the patterns that I want to rebrand, so that's a big tick off the list. Another thing was the Patreon tiers, which I talked about last time, but I forgot to tell you what they were called. I can't remember which order it is, but it's moss, linen and granite, I think, are the 3 tiers. It's really hard, even like trying to work out what name to call each tier was sort of, for me, a stumbling block. It's like, oh no, what should I call them? Can't call them weights of yarn because somebody else has got that. Somebody else has got to do with stitches about these names, and I think there was, I've seen a few sort of woolly based Patreon accounts, and I didn't want to kind of basically rip off anybody else's idea. I'm just going to blow my nose, excuse me. So I came up with moss, linen and granite, which are essentially all the same stitch. They are the moss stitch, the linen stitch and the granite stitch are just single crochet chain 1, single crochet chain 1, and then you put a single crochet in the chain 1 for the next row. I don't know, it just came to me. I mean, I think it's perfectly acceptable and I quite like it. But although I mentioned like discounts for Patreon last episode, I have now as well organised the first Zoom chat, which will be on Saturday the 27th. So that's this Saturday, and I don't actually know if this will go out in time for you to know that. And if this like goes out on the Saturday and you wanted to be part of it and you miss it, I'm really sorry, or after the fact, but hopefully I'll be doing them once a month anyway. That's the idea. I think I'm sort of aiming for 11 AM at the moment. I was going to do 10:30, but it was a bit too early for some people in the US, so I need to find the balance between all the time zones. It's hard. Okay, so I've done those 2 jumpers. I've also just made this at the weekend. I haven't sewn in one of the ends just because I don't know if my strap is long enough, but my mum asked for a case for a mobile phone for her friend's birthday, and then she wants one for her as well, and so I made this, which is slightly bigger because she said she didn't want a snug fit one because by the time you got it out the phone would have stopped ringing if somebody was calling you, which is a fair point. So I've made it reasonably loose fitting, and I would quite like to do a tutorial on how to do a similar design to this, because I've done this sort of stripy effect thing before, and it's there on my list of things to do, but never a priority, so it just never gets done. But I don't know, because I can't just have it like that. It's not long enough, is it? I'm going to have to undo that and have it so you can, yeah, that's stupid. So I'm going to have to undo the strap and do it again. And make it longer. But basically, Mum and her friend, they're getting on a bit. This is what they've said to me. So they want to carry their mobile phones around with them just in case they need to call somebody, and it's on their person. I mean, I don't know where their pockets have gone, but I've been told to make them, so make them I shall. I am working on, I've got a side whip as a reasonably non-thinky project, and I've joined the Granny Go Round bandwagon. Claudine from I Lamb released her top-down granny jumper, so I decided I wanted to make one as well. So I'm not massively far in, but already I'm thinking I might, well, with this one I might stick with this, but I would like it to have a wider neck, so I might sort of do some jiggery pokery and make some adjustments so that the neck is wider, because this is this has got to have a neckband put on afterwards as well, so I think it might be too close to my neck and I want something maybe a bit looser. But I'll make this one as it is, because I'm not gonna frog it, and I'll keep going with the pattern colour pattern, which is alright. I don't think it's very me, but it's alright. Just like some random DK acrylic. It's not all the same either. I think it's a mixture of like Aldi and Stylecraft. But I want to make another one, and I'm going to make it as a stash buster. So I've just sort of collated a bag full of rando DK, and I'll go with that. At some point I shall squeeze it in. I mean, I have been like totally overwhelmed recently, I think it's fair to say. There's just so much going on, and I'm getting fed up of hearing myself complain, so God knows what it's like for other people when I'm like, I just want to make nice things. I don't want to do the hard stuff. Nobody wants to hear that, do they? But I mean, there's just a lot that goes on behind the scenes, I think, and you want to do a good job of all of it. But I'm going to go and pick my car up from the garage now, but hastily bung some chicken in the oven before I go. It's nice to talk to you. I was going to say it's nice to see you, but I haven't seen anybody, just a camera lens. I hope it's not too bright. I've had to shut the curtains and switch on an artificial light, and I look a little bit. I did notice when I uploaded the last video, I did it at 1080 pixels per what's-it rather than 720, and I do apologise because you can see more of my wrinkles now. It was a bit of a shock when I saw that. Anyway, I hope you're doing alright. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support and loveliness and just general loveliness. Just all lovely. Yeah, leave a comment down below, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, la-di-da-di-da, and I will see you next time. Oh.